Yeah, you should be hearing me right now. Oh man, like I'm trying to do this on the world's smallest laptop, and there's so many screens and things. How are you, how are you all doing, everyone? It's been a while. I've been on a festival. Later after that, I was job hunting, and yeah, I mean, it felt kind of strange to actually, work on YouTube while not having proper income, so I was focusing on that first and foremost. But at one point, I started to be very jealous of all other dungeon tubers that started doing something like this, just streaming what they are doing. And yes, I also want to just use this time to talk to you for a bit, perhaps something for my game. I have one on Sunday, no, one on Wednesday and one on Friday. So there's a lot of things to be prepping, but I want to keep the concept a bit different than what others do. So, as you've seen in the, well, maybe you saw it, maybe you didn't, on the intro screen, I want to do like a recap of how the last session went, then focus a bit more on just prepping, and then we're gonna have a topic of the day, which I think is like what I used to do for my videos, but we're just gonna pick a topic and then just ramble a bit, discuss how I would maybe do something or what I think about some piece of media or game design. Doesn't have to be related to TTRPGs, but it's a plus if it is. And yeah, then we're gonna prep some more. We'll see. I have no idea. This should be unscripted and just hangout stuff. So, as always, this is all bodged up. I don't have a proper charger for my laptop, so how long this thing keeps working, that's how long the stream is gonna be. So if I just disappear, that's because, yeah, no charger and no battery. Yeah, so what I have here, I've tried to make this pretty professional. I have my trusty notebook where I keep all the notes, some index cards, some garbage. So yeah, you'll see how you know that video where like single page prep method that I used to do. Well, this is what I'm doing now for this campaign as well. And of course, I'm gonna give you a bit of a context of what is happening there. But basically, this is the setup. And if I go here, you won't see me. So it's gonna be, we're gonna do some adjusting on the fly. All right, let me show you something really cool. So first of all, oh, professional. First of all, I've been doing a lot of prep and organization in Obsidian, of course. And maybe I even have it on this laptop. Let me see. No. God damn it, this is so many different things. No, we're gonna do Obsidian another time. But I've done all the organization of my world building and everything in Obsidian, printed out some stuff. But I found that when I'm running Pathfinder 2e, and that's what we're playing right now, when I'm running that, I really need my laptop for the archives of Nethys, so the reference, the wiki. And I cannot go like through Alt Tab to this one, and the map is on the table. We use digital maps with like 3D, like crafted terrain on top. So yeah, I was like, okay, let's write stuff in the notebook like I used to do. Then I know what I have, what are the prep stuff, what are my generators and everything. When it's analog, it's like a glance away. While when it's on the machine, I have to constantly, alt tab to see what's happening. And that, honestly, for me, doesn't work. It just breaks me. So this is, if you've watched my videos, you know how this looks. Yeah. Oh, this camera is too far away, but we'll figure something out. I'll probably be silent for most of the stream while I'm writing, and it's just the idea is we are chilling, prepping together. You should be hearing some music, but I don't seem to see the waveforms, so let's try to restart capture. Yeah, now you should be hearing something. If it's too loud, hopefully someone will tell me. let's keep it like this. And if I'm too quiet, hopefully someone will tell me that as well. So this is my notebook where I do prep like this. So if I'm doing a dungeon, I will have a dungeon and a bunch of things. There is no order, there is no rules, there is just fun. Fun stuff. And that's the idea. We should have fun doing this. Don't try to make it look nice. Like most of the things, for example, this page, it looks nice because I started writing in another notebook, then I was cutting that and improvising and gluing things. And this notebook has the worst paper. I mean, it's really thick paper, but it's not that good and it tears easily. So we have to be careful. And a lot of these have like cards, index cards that I can pull out and where I keep, like, example, woods nuggets is where I would have, I don't know, strange things that happens in the woods. Oh, yeah, by the way, spoilers for my players, don't. I will put the mod podge here. Spoilers. If you're here, shoo, now is the time. So yeah, I always have a couple of like random events and things. Not always events, sometimes I would say they are like one sentence random, I'm not say encounters, things you can see in the world, things you can notice, something that makes the world feel more alive. So I always have these, and index cards, you always need a ton. They are your best friend, trust me. So yeah, I would put cards in like this, and the idea is that I would have one page, and this would be like, I don't know, 5 to 7 hours of play, and I wouldn't need to go and check anything else. The ratio of how long it takes me to prep these things and how long we play, well, depends on how much I rush it. I hopefully today we will use like 3 or 4 hours to prep, and then I will squeeze 4 or more hours from that. We will see. And it's one-to-one just because I have to think of things and then write them down, and this might seem like an overkill, and sure, it is. But I love it. It really makes me feel artistic, it inspires me. Sometimes I dwell on an idea and it starts to, you know, multiply and become something more interesting. So I love it. I really enjoy this way of prep. Yeah, of course, I can put some bullet points in my notebook or on my PC and be done with it. But this is something that, it's like an artifact. When this book, and it's slowly gonna be filled, like this is the only thing left. When this is filled, it's gonna be the best freaking artifact ever. Like I will cherish this for the rest of my life, and it's full of memories and adventures, and maybe I can reuse some of these things in the future. So I really like it. Right. So we should go and give you some context about what happened here, because this is where we left off, and yeah, I think that is the most interesting thing. And check this out. I even have this. Segments. Okay, so session recap. What are we playing? We're playing Kingmakers. Yeah, the Pathfinder adventure path. Well, it is supposed to be an adventure path where you start from level 1 and end up at level 20, and it is supposed to be oriented towards kingdom building. We're not there yet, so through the chapters, I think only at chapter 4 you start your kingdom building. We just finished chapter 3, and yeah, the thing is, I didn't like the whole fiction, of course, that goes with Kingmakers, so I did change some things. For example, oh, I don't have my props here. Wait, be back in a second. I want to show you something. Okay, I'm back. So the thing is, Brevoy is a place in Pathfinder lore, and it is like next to the Stolen Lands, and the under Stolen Lands you have the River Kingdoms, I think, and all that is really cool. But I wanted to make my own city with my own NPCs, and I wanted there to be. It's kind of like a hub of the campaign. So, and also Brevoy, we play in Serbian, so Brevoj. Uh, it's kind of it sounds strange. So with some inspiration from what my friend from Sri Lanka called a place my wife comes from, Topola, he called it Tololo, and other inspirations, we figured out that Brevoy, which is a kingdom, so yeah, Restov, which is a city in Brevoy, is gonna be called Tolona, and Brevoy is gonna be called Tiberim. So these are the new names, and I've went and redesigned the whole region. This is the printed map and laminated. So I don't know how much you can see of this, but the glare is horrible. This is Tolona. The everything above the river is the Tiberim kingdom, and everything below this is like Dunswald. I think that is pretty much from the Kingmaker book, although I've added some centaurs and the spoilers are still on some other cities. So this is the region, and I've of course localized all the names. And the thing is, humans from Tolona are very good with like other human settlements, but they have some wood giants on the north that are like just focused on protecting the ancient forest, and we have some centaurs on the south that have a peace treaty with humans, but no one knows where the slab of stone where that peace treaty is written is. So Tolona is a big city, modeled after Rostov, so it has a population of 18,000, and this is what it looks like. Again, the glare is horrible, and I really like doing these types of maps, so I would color code all the districts, and I have a map on in Obsidian where I can click on all the locations and open up a bit more about them. So that is, for example, what I would use Obsidian for still, but for the flow of the session, the notebook. So all these tools, like you just have to feel what works in the moment, what cuts down on your time, and when I say time, like what cuts down on your search time, and just be ready to pump out information as soon as the players need them. So yeah, this is the Tolona city, and I don't have a map of the Stolen Lands, but basically we call it the No Man's Land, and as I showed you, it would start from these mountains and expand all the way to the west. And for hex scrolling, the Stolen Lands, or how we call them, No Man's Land, we just use Kingmaker hexes and map and what's written in the book. So it is Kingmaker, but it's kind of not. I have other things happening in the city, but isn't that how all games end up being? So, last session, we were attacking, and again, spoilers, even for other people that want to play Kingmaker and are not GMs. Can I come back to this? You're off? So we were attacking the Staglord, and the Staglord is the main like bandit who has quite a following, and they're harassing people around the Stolen Lands. And my players, level 3, we have a druid who is a Shisk porcupine type of thing that lives underground, eats bugs, and sleeps outside. He's a druid. We have a cleric who now follows two gods for some reason, and who is one of the nobles, actually the Aldori family duelist from Tolona. We have a gunslinger half-elf, and we have a sorcerer half-elf who lives his second life now. So when I say second life, like he died and then he was resurrected, some strange things from his backstory, but that's not important. We'll talk more about the characters as we go. What happened was I prepped like this thing, and what I was focused on was like if they come from the side that's haunted, how the zombie mechanic functions, if they try to climb the walls, and this is why I have all these pictures if they try to climb the spiky walls, this is what happens. This little symbol would say, oh, they're looking, the bandits are looking on this side and not this side, and a little bit about what happens if you find the trapdoor. The rest is just like summed up stuff from the book, and I have a little map where I can keep track of like all the things. Is this an overkill? Of course it is. You don't need to do it like this, of course. And yeah, the fight was insane. My players tried to do it like with diplomacy. They had some booze that they stole from one of the Stag Lord's like bandit camps, and they wanted to bring it to him, do some diplomacy, and potentially like just infiltrate the place. While our gunslinger, who is kind of the rogue of the party, he went and found the trapdoor behind and wanted to go inside from there. And this is the thing. So the module says explicitly that you have this trapdoor. You even feel like it's very rewarding if you find it. But what they don't tell you is that if you go to the cellar, like it leads to, I don't know, like here. And if you go down here, that is where Staglord's father lives, who is like a level 5 caster druid. Let me see. You see all the stat blocks are here, so this is for him, and I have his spells here. You will also notice that some spells have like a star. Oh, how do I even show this to you? Like, yeah, some spells have a star, some have a sword, and some have a shield. That is because I made like my version of those tactic dice that Runehammer sells on his store. So when I don't know what an enemy will do, I just roll those, and yeah, I might even show those to you as well. Again, give me just a second. Okay, so these are all the dice that I usually use as the Dungeon Master, and 2 dice that I couldn't really order from Runehammer because shipping and all that, but I had to make them. Maybe I do a tutorial on how you make these. It's like the direction die, so where is something falling or going or whatever. Whenever you need the direction, you just throw it. Okay, and the other one has a couple of swords, which is like the basic attack, a basic action, something that creature would do most likely. Then you have like a defensive maneuver and like all-out explosion. Like this would be your most powerful attack. So I would just roll this and see what the enemy does. So that's why this enemy has those like swords and stars on the side. But as I was saying, am I too scatterbrained? Maybe. I'm sorry. I was sick for the last 2 weeks, so not too many communication with proper humans. Yeah, my gunslinger, he went down there, and you feel like it's a reward, but then you end up fighting alone a creature that is 5th level and is a caster. So he went down there. I made sure to make it very creepy on how that old man, because let's face it, this old man is trapped there. He lives in like his own piss in something that looks like a nest made out of like cloth and things. So I made sure to make it really creepy. Well, he is down there fighting the druid. The rest of the party just comes to the gate, has the most horrible arguments and most horrible rolls, and they end up one was in this room here, C9, and he was tied to a pole. Another player turned into a bug, our druid, and went into this room here, tried to enter here, and found the boss, the Stag Lord himself, who is even worse, he is like 6th level. So horrible thing. And our sorcerer, who is kind of also our support character, ended up in this pit fighting an owlbear, and all the bandits were like watching that. So imagine. No, yeah, I can probably turn off the spoiler tag because you were there. Uh, Not spoilers yet, but I was showing some things from other pages. That's when the spoilers were supposed to be on. So they started the fight like this, and after like a bunch of turns, not to go through all of them, I was pretty sure like they pulled everyone. They pulled all the enemies, and I think when it comes to like my part of how I pull my punches without pulling punches is I said, okay, all the things that are going to happen that are very bad, they are not gonna happen right away. Let's add some timers. So we had a timer for the gunslinger as he exited from, like, he used the trapdoor here to exit from the basement. And now he was there. Is the old man going to follow him? Yes. Let's roll a timer and see how long until that person comes up. Now, the second thing that the module didn't have side, but I decided to do is, okay, we have this trapdoor. We have another one here. And I really wanted the third one, so I put it in this like kitchen type of room. And since the druid didn't see where the gunslinger exited from, I was like, okay, I'm gonna roll a die and potentially he's gonna come from one of these three. Now, another thing, there are bandits here that have names that are like important. So we had like, and I changed their names a bit, but we had three different bandits, like you can't see anything. One was Doven and one was Akiros. And Akiros was, it says he was like a paladin slash fighter for Church of Edrasil, which is like plant-loving people, I think. So he was suspicious. He was almost ready to give up on serving the Stag Lord, even though he was his second in command. And it's really like mentioned in the module multiple times that he is really like ready to destroy the Stag Lord. So I said when he was discussing with the players before they did roll something good for like diplomacy, so one of the characters did have a chance to talk to him when they just arrived, and he said, I will join the winning side. So they had like intimidation or diplomacy rolls during the battle, and I would see what the minus is depending on the situation and how I perceive it. So slowly they were getting him on their side, but I didn't think that was enough. First, they really stormed the whole stronghold, which would probably kill them. Second of all, his hate for this bandit leader is really clear, but it's not like he's doing anything to really justify this hate. And previously in the adventure path, there was this camp of these specific bandits, and they had a lot of blasting stones that were used as alarms. So my idea was, maybe Akiros, in his room where he sleeps, they put him to sleep in freaking kitchen, maybe he put a lot of blasting stones under the floorboards, and our druid, while he was a bug, went below the floorboards and saw this. So this room was basically rigged, and this is where I think like how I came up with this was the 3 T's from Runehammer. Like, we have a threat. I mean, we have a lot of threats. There is like 20 different actors here, and like there are bandits on the watchtowers, there are bandits here, there is an owlbear here, a boss, a druid underneath. So, and they pulled everyone. So we have threats. Now we have timers, and there were 2 timers. One was for the evil druid coming out, and another timer was for a specific curse that was like put on the whole no man's land, and this curse would make everyone focus well, lesser beings would start to focus anyone from the Eldori family if they uh, step into the Stolen Lands. And I will start calling it the No Man's Land because that's how it's called in our game. So another timer was for when this curse will activate, and all the regular bandits that are not the named ones will start focusing our cleric. And we needed a treat. So something that the players can use to, make it easier to win. And we had two treats. One was 50-50. The owlbear, when released, will attack anyone. But we had a druid, so my idea was he can talk to the bear, the owlbear, make a peace treaty. Of course, our druid didn't quite do it. It took him a while to make that deal. And the explosives made sense. So, yeah, I added the note for explosives later while I was prepping something else, and it ended up being so cool, but they never activated it. Which is, yeah, our druid is a bit slower. Just a slower guy, but he lived his whole life underground. He doesn't know about explosives and bears. So, yeah, at the end we didn't even use that. The fascinating thing was, and this is again something that I've added to the scenario, there are wizards, like a mages guild in Tolona, and they, through crazy stuff happening, gave our party a key that they can use once a week to open a portal in between, like, this plane and the demi plane where these wizards have their own place, basically. And if you do it from Tolona, you're just opening a portal directly to them. But if you're doing this from any other place, you will end up in what we call a spacey in between planes. And this is really inspired by Clive Barker's in OVO, like a dark place in between dominions from Imagica, basically. And it's a horrible place. You need to really be properly trained in magic and planar travel to survive going through this place between planes. But this key can only be used on doors, and only if you put it on a door and unlock it, then the door will become a portal. The moment, the best freaking moment that turned this fight around is our cleric figuring out that the Stag Lord is standing here next to this door, and my cleric is on this side, and actually Stag Lord is here, cleric is here, and he would just daunt the Stag Lord, open the door, and kick the Stag Lord in the portal. So he did that, even grabbed his helmet and took it off of his head while he was falling into the portal. And the helmet is a very cool item that they didn't even know is magical, but it is. So he just took the helmet, kicked him into the portal, and it was just insane. We have a recording, the voice recording of that session. Maybe I find it at one point, add it to a video or something. The screams in the room, it's insane. And that was the moment, they dealt maybe 20 damage to the Stag Lord, and he has 100 health, so crazy. That tipped the scales of battle so much, especially because our druid died 5 times. He was down 5 times, everyone was down at some point, so just an insane fight. At the end, that was the move that was the treat, and we never did anything with this here. Now, I would say these are minor spoilers for my players, but me as the GM, the first thing I'm thinking about is this C7 that has bombs inside. I basically have a kiloton of TNT under those floorboards, and my players can just pretty much try to harvest that. Now, will they blow themselves up? It's a pretty powerful explosion for a level 3 characters. Now we wait for my player in the chat to ask, but aren't we level 4? Maybe. We'll see. But even if they harvest it, they would have so much firepower, so and it's dangerous in their hands. Basically, I'm more afraid. I'm more afraid of them killing themselves or destroying what they make than using it on as a weapon. But we'll see. So definitely something we have. Other what is the honorable mention? I would say is the heist for the emblem. I will just mention that before they went to the Stag Lord, I think that was the session before that, the Thieves Guild gave our gunslinger a quest to steal the coat of arms from the tower of the Eldori castle. And just to like paint a picture of like when you prep things and you don't use them at the end, like I had a proper idea for this heist, like how the guards would patrol the walls, how the rooms, like as you go and see stuff in the like windows, what are the rooms, what you can use from the rooms, and I really thought like this is gonna be like a tactical thing. But when you do it so high level, it doesn't matter if you don't use this at the end, because what our gunslinger did, he found out that one of the nobles, Aldori nobles, lives here. Through the help of his noble friends, he managed to get a date with this woman and end up with a proper D20, end up in her room, and then through her window while she was asleep, just steal this thing, throw it into some hay like Assassin's Creed style, and then other players moved the cart and he jumped out. So yeah, that was very fun. But yeah, this whole card, discarded, couldn't be used. But doesn't matter really, because when you have it like this, like just abstract, this actually works for me, because I know that I'm not like losing too much. What is our gunslinger saying in the chat? Yeah. The player that was the druid and that was like checking the floorboards, he was like as an insect, he was the only one who knew this information, but he never communicated it. I mean, he could have communicated it. At one point he was like with you, I think, in the meat of the matter. I even have a picture of that. It'd be super cool if I could just show you stuff from my phone as well. Yeah, like let's try it like this. Don't know if you can see it, but oh, of course you can. This is like the lowest tech thing ever. Oh my god. The IT guy. Okay, let me try to get it from WhatsApp. Computers. All right, yeah, there we go. Now the big question is this gonna work? If I do this, do we see the picture? You saw my stream elements that don't work. No, you don't see the picture. Okay, technical difficulties, people, as always. Why is screen sharing not sharing the screen? That is, it's insane, just insane. Maybe because OBS is... No? Okay, look, I have no idea. Also, my chat is not pulling information from stream elements, which is sad. Doesn't matter. Wanted to show you a cool picture. Next time. Next time I'll fix these issues. Don't know why Stream Elements is not pulling anything. Probably not connected to whatever I'm doing right now, but how do you connect it? That is a big question. It's an overlay, and who knows, who knows? Anyways, this like me looking at the chat from the phone, that works well. So we're gonna continue doing that, and next time like chat should be there, or here there's like a chat space and like some notifications on subscribers like there, and I made an effort, but we'll see. How is the campfire session coming along? Well, my idea was to give this information dump of how last session went here. In my mind, it was so structured, and I laid down and thought about everything. But then I would start prepping the campfire session for Wednesday, and if we have time, we would do something for the session after that as well. Because ideally, I prep both today. Yeah, that's I don't know if there's gonna be enough time for that. I also want to make a pause for like coffee and maybe eat something at some point. But yeah, and by the way, this is how my notes for after play look. I mean, I do record all the sessions, so I would rewind and see what I meant, but just like write a reminder for yourself on a piece of paper. So yeah. Another one here, and we should probably say like what the campfire session is. So basically the idea is that when you don't have the like all the people to play, continue your campaign, you would just, or if you're traveling and you want like that moment where all the characters sit down next to the campfire and tell stories, we would like play through these stories 10 minutes, 15 minutes, mostly 20 minutes at a time, like just have a small narrative that explores the background of the player. And to emphasize this, I really want like to reward these campfire flashbacks with like, hey, if you had an interesting item that you maybe owned in the past in your flashback, maybe you still have it, or if you invented an NPC that was in that flashback, they still exist in this world. You might meet them, they might, you know, help you out with something. So it's a cool way to give the control back to the players for a bit, make them world builders, and it's a huge help to the GM as well. Mostly because we did go into building proper characters for this campaign. Like we really thought about, you know, how they would click in the world, but we didn't really explore their backstory that much, because for Pathfinder, especially for something like this, I wasn't really sure how the world would look, and I was world building, and you know, at some point we just said let's play and let's just start with whatever we have. We will fill it on the fly, and we are filling it on the fly, and it's really cool. Like the characters are shaping up to be really cool. For example, for the campaign Code of Krampus, which we played, that was the one in Redmark, and it was like 2055 modern world psychological horror thriller. For that one, well, it was a different thing. We really wanted there to be like a feeling that in that city, and of course the scope was just one city, it wasn't the realm, but we really wanted everyone from that city to really know their neighborhood, know people around them, have, you know, a favorite place where they hang out. So for something like this, it was much better to really explore all these things beforehand, and then, you know, and then start playing. And here we just jumped into it. So what I do first, and you see like this, the texture of this paper is just, it's like parchment. Parchment, is that the name of it? The Lortic emoji, I think you have to be a member for that. Oh no, there is not there's not the Lortic emoji as an option at all. I think that is because it's the only one that didn't have the the high resolution version. You see, both for both other characters, it's the high resolution one. And I couldn't find the dragon version. If you have that picture, send it to me and I will add the thing. I will also call you out on hanging out with me on stream instead of real life. Also, a question for you since you're here. Do you hear the chill little music in the background? Just a little bit? And just so you know, like everything you write and I answer, it takes like I think 10-20 seconds for it to actually like sync up. Yeah, it should be a tiny bit. I don't want it to be too much. Yeah. Maybe I will make it like louder if I'm quiet, but like this should be good. And also check the brightness, because I lowered everything to not consume too much battery. We should be good, like, with the battery and everything. Let me check. Not at all, it's horrible. It's like 68% and I'm on like a third-party charger. Oh, we'll see. Like, we'll start. It's still the first stream. Still a hangout, so who cares? Okay, my favorite pens. That is what we need to find. So this is like gel pen, pigment ink. Yeah, right. That I will need, and you'll see how I do this. Like, I don't have it's nothing is organized. It's just pure chaos. Need a Sharpie. These ones are always important for the start, and I would usually start with just outlining things and then coloring stuff in. Have my own little pseudo language for symbols and stuff. Let's see. I'm looking for another marker that is not going to spill as much as the Sharpie. Okay, we'll need this. And I will have to organize this better for the next stream. But this is my life. Every time I prep, I go through, like, digging through this thing. Alright. Return that. So these ones are important. This one is what we're gonna use first. Imagine sitting for a stream and like half of the things you need are not on the table. It's insane. I have to go find the ruler and I have to go find something to put the pens in. That would be cool. Maybe move the light a bit. It's just hang out. Bad prep. Bam. You know me. Like, I can either do like too much prep for a video or just bodge it up. But this looks nice. Like, actually sturdy, and yeah, enough space for the computer and for writing stuff. And you can actually still see some background. I would say medium prep. Cool. Be right back. Going to take the stuff. All right. So, put that there. Right. Always horrible when you have to work on this side of the note. This kind of works, so let's put that there to hold it. I'm not too satisfied with the... to push everything towards you a bit. Okay, now the first thing I do usually, like, we're gonna glue this page to like these two pages, and I will make a place for my index cards, because we're gonna have index cards. Like, it's probably going to happen. Or nah, we're gonna do it. There is no way we're not gonna be using index cards. So that one there. Where are we gonna put it? That's one of the biggest. So these two are here, not to overlap with them, probably here, like down here. Maybe we could do like a bit on the side, something like this. And maybe you pull them out from below. Yeah, why not? We're gonna do something like that. So that would be here, right? Why not? Just for the sake of it, I will... like, I just outline them, because I used to use card sleeves for this. But I hope you can hear me well while I'm doing this. I used to use card sleeves and then like glue them in between two pages and put an index card there. But that doesn't work for me anymore, especially because the size of the cards is not constant for me. Like, I am very... I'm not very serious with what I'm doing there. So I'm cutting all of them at once and they vary a bit. It's horrible. So now I just do something like this. I cut one of the index cards and I use that as, just like little padding in between two pages. Glue everything else together, and I glue it with Mod Podge. Like, Mod Podge is one of the best substances that man ever made. 100%. Like, you can't tell me that's not true. Like, this thing, this is the best. We have like basic PVA in Serbia. We don't have Mod Podge. I have to import it like through someone from abroad. But we have PVA, and if you add some water to it, it's, What about hot glue? Well, hot glue is good, but Mod Podge and like PVA in general, oh my god. Like, you can get it off of clothes, it's easy to work with. When it like dries, it's almost hard like a rock. You can make all sorts of stuff with it, and I think it's not toxic. You can even eat it, so that says something. Where is my brush? Had it on the table. Oh, there it is. Okay, so the plan is glue this here, and then glue the whole pages. I just put a little bit on the cap, just so, Ooh, I'll take this first. Okay, so too much, maybe just a little bit. It would be nice if I had this a bit wet before using it. And this paper just soaks everything in. It's insanely thick. Like, this will be enough. And it doesn't need to be like tight. It can be like, as wide as it has to be, but still make the index card fit. And it is basically used as a guide to me, and so I don't like rip through the pages if I'm forcing the cards in. This is like protecting me, but also protecting the notebook. It just doesn't matter if I go overboard with it. And I am not really pedantic when I do this. Like the idea here is just go insane, just do anything, and if you break stuff, find a way to fix them, and don't be bothered by anything. Like just imagine yourself working on a secret tome, yeah. And I mean, you are kind of working on both, right? Secret tome and the tomb. It's a dungeon. So there we go. Wow. Amazing. It is kind of overlapping with the Staglord's Fort there, the Velcro. Does start to have a feel of those, they call them diaries. My sister used to make reminders. That's where we're gonna put it there. Okay, let's glue the pages. Or no, let's make a proper hole for this. Let's label it first. With a pencil. So that would be like there. Yeah, something like that, but oof, I am not 100% sure about this. Yeah, let's make it like here. Which is how far from the... Because if it's too low, it's like it will rip. So this is like 2.5. And sorry, I'll be using centimeters for everything. Because that's the only thing I know how to do. Okay, so 2.5. Well, I'll just do this. And then something like just pull a line. And yeah, it's like starting from here. And then here. Okay, yeah, makes sense. Probably be cool to be straight, like parallel with the page. See, like I'm just not doing this the right way, not at all. And then we need something that cuts, that is not big scissors, but something smaller. Should have a thing here. Now, don't laugh, this is not proper materials. I do have everything for crafting in the other room. Like I do have proper, like, X-Acto knives and everything, but at the end of the day you end up with something like this. Alright, which of these lines? Oh my god. This one. They said this paper, you can't really, like, you have to be really careful not to rip it. It's almost like working with cloth paper. You see what happens? Like you can't see actually, it's too small, but it makes like a bulge. It starts to rip, but you know, becomes all strange. Okay, let's try with proper scissors now. What I found is that when I cut it and then I do a bit of Mod Podge on that side as well, it will actually hold quite nice. What is this, like 8.5, so like 4 is the center, something like, yeah, kind of like there. So we can do a little, you know, something like a little triangle to help us fit the card in. Like so, like from the other side as well. There's no way this is gonna be symmetrical. There you go. Amazing. Done. Okay, now we glue stuff. Now we glue everything. Maybe a bit of water. Good thing I have this. Oh. Just remind me not to drink that later, because I might just accidentally, you know, while talking, do it. But yeah, glue, 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 glue everything. Glue this one, of course this one. You have to be pretty swift, you know, because of... I was supposed to put one here as well. Well, doesn't matter. It's not the end of the world. Don't do too much water or the paper will be destroyed. It will like lose the structure. So you need to be fast because this is really drying very fast. I don't have enough in the... See? And while this is drying, we will talk about the next session and what my ideas are. At least define what we need to work on today. It's more important to glue the like corners and edges better. What's in the middle, not that important, honestly. We might fix some things later if we see that it's not working for us. But right now, we just make sure everything aligns, like so. You need to like really check if nothing is, you know, stuck on the index card place. Then we can just close the thing, and it has these super like things for holding, and now we leave it closed for just a couple of minutes. We should be done with gluing. All right, so we'll need another piece of paper, which is of course on... I won't even like, it's just how we roll. Okay. Yeah, by the way, this is another really interesting alternative to this. If you don't have like a cool book like this, these for sketches, they are really good, and the paper is also thick and you can do a lot of things with it. I did play around with it a bit, especially designing Red Mark, and I tried using it for another campaign, like really in the same way. So this was some old campaigns, and see, like I tried doing like a little holder for index cards. Honestly, it's cool. I would probably do it like this, especially because you can have it in the landscape mode, and you can do this, which like anything that folds is amazing, always. But this one, I saw it at Runehammer, found like... You know how it is with computers and spying, like as soon as I said, oh, a cool notebook, I got like my own recommendations on like Etsy, or not Etsy, it was like eBay or Amazon. And then, yeah, I had to order it, and it's huge. You can fit a lot of things in it. Like this is A4 format. You see, this is like a bit bigger, like almost, what is this, like 2.5 centimeters or an inch on both sides. Yeah. But yeah, something like this, also amazing. Don't need to go overboard with this. What's this? Okay, so what are some things that we need to focus on today? So we'll have two different important scenarios that we need to cover. So let's use something that is a bit thicker. All right. So we have the campfire session, and we will have the, let's call it main session. I would just put the music a bit less. Turn it down just a little bit. Okay. So ignore my writing. When I do this, I mix all types of letters, and some things I will write in Serbian because those notes should be useful to me. So I might write something in Serbian just to remember what I want to say. You will see when I prep, I'd write a lot of like responses, dialogue. Those are things that I need to remember. Like, always prep what you are bad at remembering. If you ask me what happens if they come into the city, like, I can kind of have an idea of like what they can see when they enter a city, but it's a matter of, you know, what I can't remember. And usually I know that some NPC would say like a phrase, something that I think is powerful, and I have a bad mind for remembering those things, so I would write that down. For the campfire session, and we're gonna turn spoilers on now, especially for you, Alexander Petrovich. I don't know if he's still here. I know one of these two viewers is me on my phone. The other one is probably him. But yeah, so the first part is gonna be we know that our gunslinger is it Teldoran or Taldoran? Whatever. His city, there was a huge war there. Definitely something worth exploring. For main session, I'm just like, we're as things come to my mind and I look my notes, we're gonna put things on this to-do list. So, bandits return. See, I'm half illiterate. They are currently, like, my party is currently in the Staglord's Keep, so bandits will return, and they might, because of the curse attack Eldori, they might, you know, join them, depending on what they do. We should probably add here, loot, okay? I have to give them loot to say what they find. We have some rules to check for Pathfinder 2e. We will not do that on stream for now. Okay, then for the main session, we have things that are no man's land, and we have Tolona outposts. So they are going to go and like solve their quests and stuff after like they by killing the Stag Lord, they have finished a bunch of quests, and they need to go and talk to people, get their rewards, see what they're gonna do. So definitely we have something here, and especially in Tolona we have some interesting additional things missing, and I will always do like just this sign. This is like a shield, coat of arms. So the thing that they stole from the tower, definitely a reaction to that. Aldori book, again something that our gunslinger friend stole from the father of our character. So that is something that is gonna, like, these two might, like, raise suspicion with the city. Okay. Now, a big problem that I have, which I think that is for main session, is our cleric has two gods now, and I really want that to be a mechanic where he needs to, like, switch to one or the other, and that influences what spells he has or what he can do. But that doesn't really, like, imagine having two lists and you have to figure out, like, which list you are preparing in the morning. That is too much information to retain. You already have a bunch of spells, you already have so many mechanics. I don't want it to be like, hey, what's the spell you're trying to create to prepare on this list or this list? So, and also this god, and if you read Kingmaker, you know that there is this love story between an elder from Feywild and a nymph called Nerissa, so, or something like that. I might have renamed her as well, but I've renamed the elder into Martis, and like a martyr, play with words. It works in Serbian. So now my cleric is supporting this banished god that is now in a, like, almost like a demi-plane stuck in Shadowfell, or the Plane of Shadows. Plane of Void is very close to it in Pathfinder. So he is kind of there, and because of the closeness to the Plane of Void, he is, it is easier for him to give bad spells, like evil spells, than it is to bring good spells to our cleric. So the question is, if I do it just, okay, here is a list of evil spells that you can, use if you're preparing for this god. Here is a good set of spells that you can use if you're preparing for the good god. It's very clear cut. The good thing is that we can have heal and no heal. Heal would be just in one of those two. But it doesn't work for me. Then I thought, like, you can sacrifice some of the good spells. Like, you can prepare anything. You can sacrifice good spells from your spell slots. You can't use them until the next day of preparation, but you get an inspiration token, which is like currency to bargain with me as the GM. That would mean, like, hey, this god is kind of, he is actually causing small miracles to happen because he's closer to you. I imagine this like the main god in my world, the blind father. I imagine him as, like, if you pray to him, some part of him will respond. You will get your abilities to do good, or, like, whatever good is for a creature like that. But I don't really want him to be like, hey, I'm, like, paying attention to each of my followers. He is a big god, it's like the social network of a very famous person. Like, they don't respond to their social networks, like, most of the time. If they even, like, respond, it's someone else is behind that, except Twitter. I'm pretty sure people that write retarded stuff on Twitter are doing it themselves. So yeah, I would say that Martis is a bit closer, and that is a good thing. See, like, I had this idea for a while, but I needed, like, the oomph, and I say sacrifice good spells. So you have to sacrifice those, not any spells, but, like, good spells, like heals and that sort of thing. Still something to think about. Not entirely. I haven't clicked with that. Thankfully, my player really does a good thing with role-playing that. Okay. Here I also gave them, like, a Morning Star weapon, so I need stats for that. Fuck. Okay. This is a note that has to be left for later. That's like a blood pact. This is done. Okay, these are just notes for me. So this one I will leave on the like there. This one I need. Cool. Let me check my notes on my phone. Because I would like things would come to me during the day. You know the feeling, and I would just write them down. So. Traveling merchant. Traveling merchant could be a cool NPC. We can, yeah, we need one cool NPC. Like, everyone I've introduced so far is either, you know, like, of their own ass politicians or like completely insane NPCs because of the No Man's Land being really very much Fae influenced. So people are going insane there. And I haven't had a cool NPC, so let's do a cool NPC. Traveling merchant. And like, don't get me wrong, this is not the prep. Prep will be here, but this is just my like ideas. And the traveling merchant, it would be really cool if he shows up in everyone's backstory. Like, right? Like one of those, you know, like Resident Evil 4 type of merchant, but cool. Everyone remembers him. Okay. Like, something is off with that guy, but he is there to help everyone. Maybe he is just stuck now, like he entered No Man's Land, can't escape. Okay. I have some notes for myself, like down the road, what I should be aware of. That would probably go into Obsidian, not here. Like, for example, who paid the Thieves Guild to do something, and you know, like things that add to the ability to shitpost on the fly. Okay, so wood giants. So what happened? Someone paid the bandits and to go kill one wood giant. This broke the treaty between humans and wood giants. The wood giants wanted a druid to be like a counselor and like help with resolving these things. No one showed up, or one guy did show up, but he is a failure, and there should be consequences. They also, I know that they kidnapped all the hunters and labeled them with, like the wood giants usually label people, well, not people, but animals in the forest with red or blue, if they are allowed, if people are allowed to hunt them. Red means this animal is sick, don't eat it, just take the fur, and blue means you can take the whole animal and consume it. And yellow means exterminate. It's usually when you have like species that is like intrusive or like an apex predator or something. So consequences would be maybe animals attack Tolona, hunters yellow. Okay, cool. This would probably be just a nugget. Like, I would just communicate this through little, you know, little things. I wouldn't go into the whole... I wouldn't dedicate a place in the book for it. Then... a vision. A vision to the Lantern King, the one who banished Martis. Oof, do we put that in the campfire session or do we put that into... That could be a good place for that could be... Now, this is a mega spoiler. Hopefully, my friend and player is not here, but we are potentially gonna have another player on the game that is on Sunday, and he's hopefully gonna stay for the rest of the campaign. So maybe Lantern King Vision for him. That sounds like something. Lantern King Vision. Let's say Vision. Maybe I do like the whole campfire sesh thing where they can like fight and have like a vision turns into an encounter, and it's like almost like puzzle type of thing. Vision, puzzle, encounter. New guy. Great, cool, amazing. That is all my notes. So now we brainstorm more. I would like there to be something that happens to everyone. Like, we are going to go, and the best thing about the campfire session is that we are improvising. Like, we are going to, you know, go and I'm gonna just ask, hey people, what do you want to explore? And one of my players might say, I don't know, when I was a child. Okay, what did you do as a child? Well, I lived underground. Okay, how does the city that you lived in underground look? I don't know, made out of leaves, mud, very similar to the Plane of Earth interlude that we had. And we would go from there. Like, I would then try to figure out what the conflict in that type of environment would be. So I don't want to really prep that, but I maybe want to, at least for some people, at least for those that were near No Man's Land or Tal'Daran, I want those to like have a bit more inclusion in like my prep. I want there to be more hints about the world, maybe. I don't know. It's my live chat on, yeah, cool. Battery, how are we looking? Oh no, it's 52%. How did I forget the freaking charger? That is insane to me. Maybe I split this into two and I go get the charger, come back. God, I can't believe this. Okay, I'll put the brightness to the lowest setting. Fascinating behavior. Cool. Let's see how the big book is, because I really want to start like writing things in here right away. How are we looking? Right? Fantastic. See, like, it's hard. It's like you can flip it. I love it. PVA, people, the best substance man ever made. Check. Yeah, see, it's... You're also not on stereo. Okay, that... How do I fix that? Thank you for saying that, honestly. The thing is, I was really sure that my headphones are not working because I can only hear mono on them. Let me check this. This is, and I think that is something I can't even fix in post, which is very annoying. Oh, okay. Is it better now? Like, I have this little control thing for the audio interface. Change it to stereo. Don't know if I should do something in OBS. Okay, this should be... It's just the microphone. Is it better now? Because I found the setting in OBS as well. one mono, mono. Perfect. Amazing. Well, you're our savior, because imagine the whole stream going on just one channel. I don't know how long are we here for, like an hour and a half, maybe even longer. Great. So, yeah, the space for index cards is there. Check if this fits. Like a charm. Wonderful. So what I usually like to do is like make this space just a little bit easier to access by cutting away some parts of it like this. Like whatever, there's no rules, there's no way to do it right or wrong. Would maybe, and yeah, always have one index card that you're gonna use, like for, oh, you're not even seeing this. Like have one index card that you're gonna use to, you know, put underneath things so you don't color things you don't want to color. So here I will just add a bit of black on the, because you see this paper rips really easily. Even when I put like a Sharpie on it, it really starts ripping, almost like, I don't know what to compare it to. It's like raw paper, you know, it's not being... Actually, I think I'm gonna use a stronger marker for that. Zero organization. We're gonna fix that for next time. Yes, something that's really gonna soak it completely. There is a reason why I'm doing this, and you might say you're using too much time on your index card place. But what can I say? I love it. I really love it, and I think it's important to focus on what makes sense to you, what you love, and you'll see the rest goes pretty fast. Even though I like spend half a day on it, it's like crafting and prepping a game all at once. And of course, I am a bit faster when I'm not streaming. But excuses. At the end of the day, do what you like. Enjoy the process. You're, as Runeheimer says, you're the scribe. Just do your thing. You're making an artifact that's gonna stay behind you, that's gonna represent all the wonderful stories you and your friends had. Not really represent them in a way like describe what happened. It's not a diary. It's more like your estimation of what is going to happen, and that is even more interesting. Like that is how you imagined that before you even sat at the table. I think that is fascinating. So I love making this. This is a new technique that I started doing, and then you pull it out and it should be just on the top, right? And it's not gonna be tearing apart when we start putting cards inside, and we're gonna put a lot of cards inside. So how do I use index cards? I think that is interesting. I use them as folders on the computer. So anything on the piece of paper that I, want to emphasize more, like have more information on, I would put on an index card and then put a little label or where it actually means something, where you like open it. And I found more notes for myself. Just repeats that I need God mechanics again and again and again. If only I could push the camera a bit towards me so that I can put it here. Not worth the hassle now. Okay, so what we know from our notes, we know that we are gonna have 2 sessions, and basically we can divide these into like 3 different big chunks. This is like, to know what is most important to you for you to prep, you first start dividing and then like go smaller and smaller. I have a video on that called single page prep or something like that, and it goes over like just how I approach it. How do you know what's important to you? And here I know I want to have 3 different things that are important, so I'm going to try and put 2 sessions into one, and I know I will need more space for the one coming on Friday. So do I start just doing the campfire session here and then the Friday's one here, just use the same slot for index cards, or do I just try to put everything on this one? Well, the visions, the campfire one, I think it's mostly improvisation. So let's divide it like this. Maybe there. And also, like, no, we will need to do the frame first, because I always give my sessions a name. That is important. This is how much space I will leave for the name. Maybe not even go to the end, but put a little circle there. I just reminded myself with this circle for unknown reasons why I want there to be an emphasis on the weather changing. So, not for the campfire one, but for the main one. Weather, whatever. And you'll see how I emphasize that, because the opening scene, I just want to imagine that as a movie, you know. We're starting with, like, it was rainy for the last couple of days, and we start with like a big victory and looting stuff, and it's not really sunny, but you know, you can feel like the warmth, and it's like, you know, moist in the air. It's not really sunny, but it's better than rain. It's like you can travel easily, and like winds of change. I want it to feel like that, because this is going to be pretty important, a pretty important session for them. But that is for the other ones. So, I think, because it's already 4:20, oh yeah, blaze it, man, and we are at 48% battery, I think we just dedicate this page to the campfire session. We do that, so we have like a thing on stream. We're not gonna do the topic to the discussion today. Next time I will buy like a USB extender so I can have all the things in this laptop, and this setup works for me. So yeah, the next one we're gonna do a proper big session. For now, let's do the campfire one. And, I will have the chat on screen. I'm sorry for the overlay thingy. Maybe I can remove it so it's not annoying. No, doesn't matter. Yeah, just click here. There you go. I mean, next time I will find a way to integrate like chat on screen and everything. Right, so what we need when we're doing a campfire session? We will need one big campfire. Let's do a little sketch, maybe. Do we have orange? Orange pencil. Red. Yeah, we can use red. Now, I'm not an artist, so you saw like other things in this notebook. They just look cool because they are full of colors, but I am far from an artist. Like, this is my tree, so more of that is coming. Okay, let's do like a big, I don't know, like a silhouette of a fire, like so. You'll see it when I, like, I don't know. And it's going like up. Like, there is also something strange in doing, like, especially with these sessions that are like not that in depth. There is something really interesting with doing just a sketch on the center of the page. It's like movie posters just try to emphasize what the, like, give you the idea of what the movie is gonna be about. Well, I think it's very similar in this case. And need just a couple of, probably just use red to start with it. Although, sure. I don't know, why not? Let's do red. It's not like there's... Let's try to keep it like symmetric or something. I already screwed that up. This side, not very fire-like. There you go. Okay, good enough. Fire, whatever. Okay. I will color it in more later. This is just for... So, inside the fire, we could define some things that are... Like, how are we gonna do this? So, I always start my, like, important rule stuff with exclamation mark. So, I want to have... maybe since we're gonna have 4 players present, so we can use a d4 to select a player character. Now you see how I like d4 is, don't know if I can like actually make this bigger for you. Not sure how, but I would use a triangle, like triangle, arrow, PCs means d4 to select PC. 20 minutes each, that sounds long. That means that one of the players would go only once in an hour. That is too much. That is too long. No, even worse. More than an hour. Okay, then 15. 15 minutes max. I'm thinking, should we have some form of like, you know, multiple of these happening at the same time, but then it's not a story about this character. Then we like, switch to another character. I don't want to do this. So we're gonna be like 15 minutes. Remember, or flashback. Then, you know what would be really fun? A bullshit token. So everyone gets a bullshit token in their story. Now, let's think about a couple of things. So, first of all, do you start with a bullshit token and you can use it to bullshit your way out of some situation? Like, you know those stories, oh, you know, I beat up 10 guys with a pen. Yeah. When John Wick says it, okay, fine. But when your IT friend with a broken back says it, well, probably bullshit. So let's give them bullshit tokens. Everyone gets 1. How do you earn more? Well, we can always reward creativity in bullshitting, but no, it could be very fun if you could have bullshit tokens yield more bullshit tokens, so you can like string them together. You know how those stories, when you're like when you hear someone exaggerating and they just continue exaggerating and continue exaggerating, that's maybe something that we can do. Like, we're still in Pathfinder 2e territory, so we're still gonna roll, you know, classic 2-hit and, you know, skills and everything, but maybe if you use a bullshit token, you roll... Yeah, you roll deception. Like, you would roll to see if your friends that... Yeah, if your friends believe you. Um, roll, what would that be, like diplomacy? Or whatever deception is. It has to be higher than PC's perception DC. I'm not sure how lying and detecting lying works in 2E. Probably like that. So let's say perception or whatever, like wisdom based thing. And if all believe, so if you've fooled everyone, you get another one. +1 BST. Binary search tree. Bullshit token. Cool. This is such a stupid little mechanic. I love it. So and if your bullshit is too good, hey Elder Goblin Games, yeah, we talked about this. It just makes more sense to film when you're prepping, especially if you don't have time to film a proper weekly video. So, and this has been very fun so far, so I might even like continue doing something like this. I caught on your Shadow Dark prep as well. Amazing stuff. So yeah, if you joined just now, I'm having 2 games this week, and 1 game is just what we call a campfire session, where we just go into flashbacks and just try to build on top of the backstories of characters. And we're playing Pathfinder 2e now. This is gonna be our 8th session in this world. So I'm thinking of how to make just remembering things fun, and like show off how I do things, because my notebook is, I would say, a bit, on the colorful side, and actually like it makes it really easy for me to like find things, which is not the usual way people do it. So I thought it could be fun. And now I figured, since people are gonna be remembering stuff, we're not really bound by accuracy. So if we are looking at, I don't know, a story of how our gunslinger stole something from the bank or whatever, I want everyone to have the ability to lie, to actually say, oh, this roll didn't happen like this, I actually owned the situation. And to do that, I'm adding like bullshit tokens, which give you the ability to really like change the story into how you would tell it. And if you roll like your bluff or diplomacy or whatever, and you're above other players' DC, you get another one. So you can like string together this like wild sways of the story. And yeah, at the end here, I want to add a little note for myself. Any item or NPC could be brought back from the flashback. So this is how I incentivize to even have something like this, so to actually want to go into the campfire session, because you might be getting something out of it. So that's, these like in the center should be rules for running this. This is like the main reminder for myself. Do we need anything else, or can we just go into like specific characters? Yeah, I would say that's it. So 15 minutes per character, selected by D4. Interesting. This could be interesting. So other players as NPCs, like co-GMing type of thing. After that January event, I think that changed the way we do like TTRPGs. Now people are much more likely to want to co-GM and help me out, and like our group really became open to just embodying NPCs or being the monster wrangler or something. So I think for others to just sit around and listen to this story is fun, but what if they could be some NPCs? That could be pretty cool. And assign by the host, like the one that is remembering stuff can assign who is gonna be each NPC. I think that would be more fun than doing it on random, because the person remembering might be like, yeah, this person would pull this NPC off much better. So that is a really cool thing. I think that's it. That could potentially be it. Okay. So, give me just 1 second to close the window. It's getting really cold here. For the last couple of days, it was like less than 10 degrees. And I'm a lizard person. I love when it's very, very warm. Okay, so the name for the session, that is something I should do next. Let me see which pen I should use for that. Campfire. Let's do like a window to the past or something like that. We have a pencil. Window to our past. And maybe a small window icon. See how this paper sticks to my marker. That's the problem with these types of notebooks. But if you manage to, and of course you can get things dirty like this. No, you have to be really careful with these notebooks. Add a bit of style to the letters. To make them strange. Just like the best thing here, that the reason why I'm doing it like this is just to feel like you're, you know, writing an interesting, I don't know, like a artifact. Don't need to, like, none of the things you've seen so far have been adding to like the material I'm going to run for my players, at least except the recap, and you saw the thing in the fire that we just did. But I am spending time in that headspace, and for me that is more important. Of course, when I'm making a dungeon or something like a puzzle, I'm more focused on the mechanic itself before I even start like writing it into this type of notebook. I would do it on an index card, for example. Index cards are my favorite. But for like, especially for a session like this, just sitting here doing this gets me in the mood. I'm listening to some chill music, thinking about my player characters, thinking about the world. And it's just enough sometimes to get you excited to exercise those muscles. And of course, we can't forget the added benefit of people saying that your notebook is really cool at the end. Alright, almost done. I love adding like the combination of sharp and rounded edges to letters. I don't know why. Yeah, for next time I will have to put the camera a bit closer because this is not a very comfortable position for this. There you go. Window to our past. Maybe do like I don't know, arched window. Maybe like this, and it's like made out of stones. I'm gonna color that into thing, and maybe it's like a stained glass window. So it's probably gonna look more like a portal at the end, but who cares? And we can add here like what is this, session 8? So why not? Let's add S8 next to it. Now usually I will add color to this, but let's try to do more proper prep before that. So we will have 4 players, potentially joined by the 5th one sometime during the night. So how is this here? It's good, yes. So I would like to have this divided into like ideas. So again, I have to constantly check the screen to see if this is in frame, or just pull the camera. Let's try it. Oh, a bold move. Oh my god, it's held by a jar of honey. So that's what's making it complicated to move. We tried, doesn't work. So let's divide this into 5 different segments, and we can do that by starting with like, let's pretend it's like a piece of wood. I don't know. And then from there we'll just do a line. Like so. Not my best work, but it will suffice. We'll add some stuff there as well. Oh, we are here hitting the thing for index cards. We'll see what we can do there. Let's do the wood and then try to match the corner of the index card thingy with the wood, so it doesn't completely destroy it. Okay, yeah. We're onto something here. Now for the other side, I don't think we can do too much there. No, maybe we can just do like 2 pieces of wood here and here. We're gonna end up with more than 5 places, but we'll figure out what they're for later. Like it's a battle between aesthetics, usability, fixing your mistakes, like Bob Ross type of thing, you know, happy accidents. Like I really wanted there to be logs and to divide this page into 5 segments. Ended up dividing it into well, technically it's divided into what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, but then it will leave the rest of the page empty, so let's do this. Maybe some reminders or something goes there. And why not do one right at the middle? And for that we can use red. Why not? We can say that the fire is reaching our, you know, like so. Maybe we extend the fire all the way there, up there. I'm really a fan of like connecting things like so, you know, gradually. Don't like, you'll see even when I do the border, I will usually just like do a little, you know, gradual connection with everything. With all these little lines, I would just connect them. But I tend to do it with another pen, so you can have more control. Because with this marker, you just tap it on this paper and it will just start to expand. Okay, so now we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. These 2 are very big. Here. To hide the thing. They are very big. What can we do about it? One is certainly the memories of our gunslinger. So the conflict that they had in that city for the last, I don't know, like 100 years, where they wanted to bring down the elder from the first world, or Feywild as it's called in D&D. This elder is who they believed in. He got in love with a nymph and wanted to promote her to an elder, and then the other elders got mad. The people in Tolderan got mad and tried to like banish him. So one of our players comes from that place and his parents are involved, and surely like a lot of space can be left for references on that. And the other one could be the underground people. We do have one player that comes from some cave system, so a lot of cultural things to explore there. When it comes to our player who comes from Tolona, like the one that is supposed to be Rostov from Kingmaker, well, for him, I think it would be it would probably be much more political, much more social, because he is from a noble family, and I would think that his youth would have more of that political thing in it. Like that would be the focus, like trying to unveil through your backstory who you are good with, like who do you know, I know a guy type of situation, right? Maybe then when we come back from the campfire session, he could call on those contacts. So probably contact oriented, as he is the politics guy. Then okay, we said one NPC is gonna be showing up everywhere. Since that is a common thing, we can add it in here. What would be the name for that merchant? And this is the place where I will need to use a Serbian name, because we're playing in Serbian. So let's put a big mark here. And yeah, he will probably need his own index card, but let's just make a little reminder. Do we have a Zdravko? Zdravko, it's like the healthy guy. It's, you know, it sounds chill, honestly. I don't think we have a Zdravko. Let me try to check Obsidian. And also I have to fix my screen sharing on Mac. For some reason I can't even show you the... No, there's no Zdravko. Amazing, but I have I have a list of like random male Serbian names in in Obsidian. Slavimir, which is like celebrates peace. Slavimir. Not bad. It's too like retro Serbian. I would go with something shorter, something catchy. This is always the worst thing. Like, this NPC should be notable, so I can't just wing it, you know, use any name. Why is naming things the worst thing in D&D and programming? Always. Mate sounds, you know, even adds a little bit of, you know, spice to it. I don't know. Mate, why not? Mate the Merchant. Oof, I love when the letters, you know, are the same. Like, I do that a lot, like the name for cottage, I think, is Brvnara in Serbian, so I would say like Branko is the man who owns the Brvnara, so Brankova Brvnara is like Branko's cottage. I love doing that, so Mate the Merchant. And the way I wrote it now, I have another idea. I wrote Mati the Merchant invades all the memories. What if he does? What if he never was in... You know that Rick and Morty episode with that like alien that invades your memories and you think he's like from your family and he's your uncle or something, but it turns out it's an alien. We are on borderline Feywild space. He doesn't need to be a bad like person. He doesn't need to be even that much into trickery. The trickery that he does is he would like hang out with you, invade your memories, sell you things, buy things from you, be very friendly, and then he is selling your memories back home without you knowing. Like, in his mind, everyone is happy. So, oh my god, that's such a good NPC. Mati the Merchant, invading memories, selling memories in Fey, and add another note, chill guy. Amazing. So now I know that he's gonna be like he's gonna get more things written about him, so I'll add like a little triangle like this. This means I have no idea if you can actually see this or read this, but I add a little triangle. That means he gets a card, and on that card I immediately write down his name, Mate the Merchant, and I leave this to the side to fill in later, especially because things will, you know, come to my mind and I will remember them. So how long are we going for? It's been 2 hours and we are at 34%, so we will have maybe an hour longer. Oh my god. There might be a way for me to send someone to get the charger, because I'm in the studio and the charger is in my phone, in my home, which is not that far away, but you know, still a hassle to go get that, restart the stream. Really like this to be one stream and not multiple. Okay, cool. So, Mate the merchant added to the fire. And he can't escape no man's land. That is what we wrote. So on the notes up here. So things are coming together. He can't leave no man's land. We add here Faye. Invades memories. Can't leave no man's land. Now the question is, what does he know about what does he know about the conflict? So the whole Nerissa thing. Maybe he can... He knows the legend. He knows Nerissa is real. He doesn't know where she is. Or maybe he's the one who drops the information that she's influence is really strong here. Or it might be that he is just, you know... he is using her influence to better his position in the world, so he will not, you know, snitch on her. So, supports Nerissa. Has many faces. Maybe he looks different every time they meet him. No, that is too tropey, I would say. Not faces, maybe like something constantly changes about him. What he sells. Always a wild story. Always a wild story. Why the previous thing he was selling failed as a business endeavor. I don't know. I would leave it here. Add that he's a chill guy. So very reasonable. As I said, most of the NPCs they met so far in No Man's Land are completely insane. So one chill, reasonable merchant guy could really be like a good, you know, good way to make players care about someone. Then again, he knows things, he can be used to drop some information. He's not affected by No Man's Land, which could pose questions like later down the line. They can ask, why is he not, you know, they will probably, when they meet him, ask him about the curse. Probably say like he doesn't know or something like that. But And he's a merchant. He will never, you know, be there for too long. He will move around. You can add that. Moves around. Okay, so I will work more on him later. Let's go back to the page. If I could, never mind. Okay, I'm very satisfied with that NPC. I could probably do like most of the session revolving around him. Anyways, that would be pretty cool. Hey, the eclectic goat is here. Everyone join the herd. Oh. How are you today? We're having a game actually on Discord today. We're playing Shadow of the Demon Lord. Okay, I have to be quicker. Okay, Gunslinger, Tal'Daran. That is probably what has to go here. So let's do like Tal'Daran. What to do with Tal'Daran? Especially because my party, they will be like embodying some NPCs, so we can do this. Like, we can make it as long as we want. But not everyone is involved in this plot. Yeah, you see that, now that you mention it, maybe one of these could be like insanely difficult. Ooh, you see, mentioning the TPK already helped. So just check what is happening. So many people are sending me stuff. So what if we make this encounter like insanely difficult? Maybe like a regular chase sequence or something. Maybe like we embody a family, and like our gunslinger is probably going to be, put my Mod Podge spoilers on screen. Our gunslinger is probably going to be home or coming home from somewhere, and yeah, there you go. And we can't assume that, because I'm gonna ask him, where do you start your flashback session? So wherever he starts, we should have a chase through the protests. Like, let's say the protests started out of nowhere. Like, we're trying to assess the order of events from which I can then figure out like the chase and everything. But mechanically, what I like to do with chases, like Pathfinder 2e has an interesting chase mechanic where you have some like chase points. Every time you succeed, you add one chase point. Every time you fail, you remove one chase point. You have to accumulate as a group enough chase points for every person to pass from one like obstacle to the other, like one location to the other. So let's do a chase. And let's write. His name is Sar. I mean, we have two players. One is Zar, the other is Sar. It's like confusing. I hope. Yeah, Sar. Yes, that is the one. Sar the gunslinger will find more people for his side, so other PCs. And him, I envision it as like he will find more people that are like confused as he is, and then a chase starts. Chase locations, like what are some interesting locations? Maybe like classic food market where everyone is being like killing each other. So for that, I always add a little knife. Whenever it's like a bloody scene, I add a little like drop of blood and a little knife, and that can be like the first obstacle. Where are they running to? That's a good question, and I will leave that as an open-ended thing. Like, I don't need to know that. Wherever he's running, I will just deploy this chase. In this market, lose a friend. One of his acquaintances. I don't know. Someone who he knows from like his backstory, who was like lost in this protest. It's like a very impactful thing to have it happen right away. Just shock value moment. The second location, and the ordering of these completely random. Like, we can move them around if he starts from a castle, if he ends in a castle. Castle is a good one, but I would say the castle is probably the most complicated one. I would add the castle somewhere down the line, because that's where the biggest conflict was happening. Market. Let me imagine the... Let's say... Yeah, castle is first thing I mentioned, so let's do castle. Because whenever I find myself thinking too long, we just, just like focus on the last thing that I knew is true. So castle. When they enter the castle, I want there to be the gnome of Lantern King. For those who don't know, it's one of the enemies that are from the Kingmaker module. Very powerful ones. Like, I think the gnome is like 14th level or some insane stuff. But I want that gnome to be there and be evil. I will put a little devil smiling next to it. So I know it's the evil, but like devilish evil gnome that is probably causing havoc. So I assume that the gunslinger is not gonna have his crazy abilities. Maybe this is how he got into possession of his pistols. And we could say that him and the rest of the gang that's with him have to figure out how to like survive as long as possible. Maybe the let's say sacrifice to save him. So maybe some of them sacrifice to save him. How I'm gonna communicate this to my players? I only need, like, I'm trying to inspire myself at the date of the game. So I'm putting options on paper, and we'll see how that chase and how that encounter will envelop, like unravel. And since I am doing the gnome, I might want his character sheet, like stat block, in the index card slot, but I don't think that's necessary. I can open him on my laptop because it's only one enemy. I will add 3 drops of blood to indicate that it's gonna be a gory scene. And from there, so we have the food market, which is pretty casual. We have the castle, like castle stairs. I will add the little stairs. Like I envision it being like in front of the castle. Where would one get pistols? Like a special place, like a shop, a workshop, magic item museum. Why not? Museum. That even opens up so many things later down the line. Like if you have a place, well, museums are problematic because who would actually put things in a museum and not keep them for themselves in this world? Maybe Tal'Daran were fancy people and they thought museums are good. Maybe the pistols, yes, that is the thing. They didn't know how to use the pistols and they didn't think that's worth anything, so they put them in the museum. Let's do the museum. And he figured out how to okay. They didn't know how to use. Okay, cool. And this opens up such a wonderful thing to, like, to ask down the line where do these pistols come from? And great. I'm really happy with those ideas. Okay. So 28%. I'm really sad that I won't be able to finish the whole stream. But maybe that's for the better. I'm starting to feel I was very sick for almost, well, over a week now. And you can probably hear that I'm slowly like starting to be slower, and so maybe it's for the best, like not to stream for 5 hours. Okay, museum. What else would be cool? Like, okay, this is where we get the pistols. I should probably note, like, a little note for myself is always the icon of whatever we're talking about. So I'll make a little icon of a pistol here. A gun. So we have the castle, the food market, the museum. Better than a workshop. I think it makes more sense. Should probably have what I call narrative nuggets for this situation. So do I need it on a different, like on the index card? Yeah, probably. Well, I really like game journals, because that is the only way I can prep to actually like know what goes where. I don't know. It's weird, but it works for me. I saw it like on Professor Dungeon Master's channel that he does, you know. He mostly does like single page games. The idea just completely fascinates me. Like every time I change a tab, and we mostly play in person, so every time I change a tab, change music, my eyes are off my like players. I am kind of like making it easier for their addiction to their phones to kick in, and I don't want that. So that's why I'm using the soundboard and the notebook, and then the computer is just there to help me with the reference, especially if we're playing Pathfinder. Like those rules, that's why you get the big one. Like this is impossible to lose. I was showing like this is an A4 paper, fills it like it leaves like an inch on both sides. It's quite big, but honestly, like when I prep, I usually do it in my my flat, and then when I come to the studio to actually run the game, like that journey, I can just like imagine something happening. Like I don't know, starts raining and I don't have a waterproof backpack, or I get mugged or something. I can just imagine the scenarios where this book of memories disappears. Get paranoid about it a lot. But probably one of the like more valuable things I own when it comes to like sentimental value. Adding a little border here. I've been doing too many pages with like this brown paper border style, but I don't know. It looks nice. See, like here, and I did it here as well. I used to do like a full-on. Where is it? Yeah, I used to leave like an empty border on the side. I don't know if you can see it now. Now I just color it a bit. I mean, I do have like all my world building is in Obsidian, but for this use case, I need a journal. So, museum, what goes next? What else can we make them? A dock. It would be so fun to jump like from one ship to another. I'm just gonna like try to visualize that idea with a picture and not dock. Just like make little boats, maybe add a little sail here, put an arrow, like jumping, fall down, maybe there's like harpoon launchers and sharks, so I would draw a little like doodle of a shark or a fish, whatever this is, and like a bow and arrow. Okay. Whatever happened here. This looks really, really bad. Who cares? We go to the next one. So I would probably need to like emphasize these words. Dock, museum, castle. Okay, that is work for later. What else? What else? But I think that if we look at it from the perspective of gameplay, like if we start a chase and then have the food market struggle and then we go to dock and like bam bam bam, oh, we run over the dock. I would say these are all interconnected, like you can go through to anyone. I will put arrows to indicate that. So you go to the dock, you're like jumping from one boat to another, then the museum, you're stuck. Maybe we put here like dead end. They see the pistols, they find a way to get them working, bam bam bam, they find a way to resolve that situation, go to the castle to save the king, his parents, or whoever, and then be like, confronted with this very powerful enemy. Maybe we add to yes, we want here, as we said, Lantern King vision. So maybe they get knocked out by this powerful enemy, we go into a vision, and very nice way to, I will add little lanterns to remind myself that I want there to be darkness and little lanterns in the dark, maybe some sort of like he taunts him with like, hey, shoot the lanterns down. Just write taunt. And yes, for those who joined later, we are working on a flashback session. That's why it's like, I already know where they're gonna go or what we're focusing on. So we're building the backstory of characters, and this one character comes from this city where this, let's say, civil war started happening because of the elders from Feywild, and one of the elders that was on one side of the people was Martis, the other one was the Lantern King, and my player will have this interaction with the Lantern King. And yeah, the Lantern King can drop she will never find the apology. She's kind of a dumb name for an artifact, but technically, like in Kingmaker, the apology is the artifact that would like lift a curse from the nymph that was the love interest of that elder, that source of the whole conflict. So I would say she or your god, whatever, will never find the apology. This is how that player got into knowing about the apology artifact through that vision. Probably while he was down. And it's problematic that I don't have Talderan on the map. I don't know how far away he is, or it is, from Tolona. So that could be a bit of a problem, because like how someone helped him survive, probably like got him back to the docks, or like found a way to escort him out of Toleran. How was that done? I think I'm gonna improvise that on the spot. I don't think that's too important, especially because I don't know, like maybe he will come up with NPCs that are, like a knight or someone who could have helped me. Since this is a flashback, he doesn't die, we know that. So there can be like Deus Ex Machina moment for sure. Cool, that is really good for Talderan. I have a little space here for some more information. And oof, it's getting really cold in this apartment. Oh, we have to get Mati the merchant there. Ooh, the pistols. No, the ammunition. MTM is how I'm gonna call him. Gives info on ammunition. Maybe. DXM, like, saves him. Maybe he's the savior. Now, we don't want to emphasize this guy too much, like, oh my god, he saved all your lives, because that's you know, we just cloaked, maybe symbol. Martis. So he would be one of the Martis associates. So he would have the symbol of Martis, and he's cloaked, helps the gunslinger. Then in the real session, in the real world, we reintroduce this guy, and after a while the gunslinger sees the same symbol, like we reveal that. I can see this, like these are the notes I needed for myself, and now I can just like glance at it. I know where things are headed, and the cool thing is I really think like this is gonna be, since we're gonna have like without an encounter, without a proper encounter, this is gonna be like 15 minutes of play, probably some interlude before the protest starts, like probably talking to a friend, family, someone. That is gonna be like 10 minutes, and then the chase itself, and then the encounter. Like I would say even like 30 to 40 minutes is this, and not to mention the vision and everything. So the whole thing where we have 15 minutes per PC kind of falls into water. We can't use that. Maybe like that's a rule of thumb, but if we are like using this here, like other players can be NPCs, then easy, you know. Like I would say just this would be a rule: to not let your players sit more than 10 minutes without having like anything to do. So yes, cool. Battery is on 21%. Okay, so we're continuing. We're trying to do as much as we can, or we can jump to like some sort of discussion. Yeah, we can do that. Like this is just small sneak peek into what I want to do. So currently we've been live for, I don't know, how much is this? Like 2.5-ish hours. And in that time, we struggle with, like, you know, talking about last sessions, a bit of technical problems. Then it took some time to come to the point where we are actually doing something on paper. And I hope, like, my idea is that we are gonna have streams where this is much more organized, and we will have like strict time limits when one starts and the other ends. And especially because in the next one, maybe I come just back tomorrow. It's not like I have something important to do when we finish this one. And yeah, it should be more structured, and then when we play the game that we actually prepped, I will sit down and we will start with the recap where I go through, hey, this is how it all went, and we do the prep then. See you soon. Thank you for joining. And yeah, so let's pick a topic for today. I have something like of a list. Let me see. Okay, yeah, I have two interesting topics, but I think one is more like a video for the players and not the GMs. So imagine a situation. Now, for me, I think there is no way to derail a campaign. It's like could be a controversial opinion, but I don't think there is a way to derail what your dungeon master has prepped. Especially because I prep like this. So for me, if this chase doesn't happen, like I still know there is a couple of locations. I know what the important thing about that location is. So for the museum, it's the pistol thing. For the docks, it's falling down in the water and how you get out while people are shooting at you and you have sharks. I might deploy it. I don't have to. The same is with the castle. There is like gory stuff. They might say, this, fuck this. I'm running to the other side. That's fine. Maybe the gnome sees you and starts running, you know, after you. And we could play around with these things. So it's kind of like I really believe there is no way to derail something. Like you as a dungeon master with experience become the ultimate bullshitting machine and you can like come up with something on the fly. But I have a specific situation where I struggle to figure out what to do. And this is when you have the who is smarter situation. So who can like one up each other, the GM or the players, and usually it is a situation with the guards, like hey, we're doing this illegal thing and you get caught. Okay, so I try to tell this to the guard, but the guard doesn't believe you. Okay, then I try to I don't know, disarm the guard. Doesn't work. You roll the dice, it doesn't work. The guard now wants to arrest you. No, but I try to, you know, and now you're ramping up the difficulty of, you know, your like world. You're like then trying to like restrict the players, trying to show that the world has some resistance to it. It's pushing back on the naughty behavior, for example, but your players are pushing back as well. And usually when the whole party does this, easy, you just throw them in the dungeon, they escape. Now that they know they can escape, it's just, and if they know the prison now and the layout, it becomes a question of, okay, they're gonna do it again. What are you gonna do? Like, imprison them again, they will escape again. So you put some anti-magic field in the prison, but they are now, you know, like, oh, this is not fair. Like, we're constantly one-upping each other on like who can break the other side. I'm not sure how to put this into words, but you've seen this, like it's always at least one player that really tries to like test the boundaries of the world, and you come to a point where the world would respond with just killing them, like getting rid of them. Imagine like even if it's like a level 2 character that's like, completely behaves insane, you are trying to tell them as the GM, hey, I know it's your character, but like you are trying to break the game, and that's fine. But I usually avoid having these conversations, but this is the situation where you really have to. I haven't found a way to like continue this one-upping without that hurting the rest of the table. So definitely something to consider. I think I have to sit down, think more about this, and really try to let me see just if my we can turn off the spoilers, and really try to like figure out what would be a proper fix for something like this. How do you even approach it without breaking the narrative? Because for me, I really want to be as flexible as I can. I don't want there to be a way to break the game and break me. I want there to be like NPCs, you can like kill them, you can have consequences for that. At what point do the consequences start to be such a nuisance that me as the GM, deploying all those consequences, also feel like the player's behavior is a nuisance? So we kind of start hating each other. It's like it becomes a game of like, you know, one versus the other. You're trying to be better than the world, and the world is trying to suppress you, but not suppress your fun, which is you know, a touchy subject. So I don't have a proper solution for it. I would like to make a video explaining this in a bit of a more packaged way, and then GMs can just send that to the players and see like how they would respond to it. The other thing that I really wanted to talk about, and I could say it deserves its own video, but on the other hand, it also is too maybe short for it. I would want to think more about it. I would want to hear your opinion on it as well. Is the asymmetry in like some encounters. For example, I have noticed that I tend, now this is again something you roll on the fly, but I tend to switch from like rules as written symmetric type of situation to more of like a saving throw type of situation when there is too many steps. For example, I had 10 archers on one side of the river and my players on the other side. And of course, we go through initiative and, you know, we play for a while. And then I would, and now this is where the topic branches out into two different directions. I would either continue doing it through initiative, or I would say, okay, now all the archers will just play regardless. Like, they will all lose a turn, but they will all play at the same time. Roll reflex save to see if you avoid the, you know, rain of arrows coming to the other side. I wouldn't go and constantly, like, if they are repositioning, yes, I would go through the initiative order. This archer moves here, takes cover, but I would do that for them to take cover, to be sure that they have a better, you know, vantage point. And then I would say, okay, in this turn they lose their ability to act, they all shoot arrows, roll reflex save. So now you're not even rolling for all these archers, you're actually asking the players to roll, which I think is better than just targeting their AC. There are troops and skirmish rolls in Pathfinder 2e, but I don't really think I want to use them for this. This is like a special case. And also, like, the way I started this encounter was also like, hey, roll reflex save, arrows are falling down. So I'm with even the first interaction, I am already saying, hey, they can act as a single entity. And these are the two directions I said. Are we deploying something like this at the beginning of combat while we're still in the cutscene mode? Or are we doing this cutscene in the middle of the encounter? The problem with the one in the middle is how you know, figure out the initiative of everyone. The easiest way in Pathfinder-like games is to just delay. Everyone delays after they've taken cover, and then they can, you know, act as one. In Pathfinder 2e, where you have 3 actions per turn, it's very easy to just say, well, they sacrifice 1 action, even 2 actions, like 1 for moving and 2 for like acting together at the end, and you can pretty much deal a lot of damage with that. So it's not like you're nerfing the encounter, it's still very fun. And I think we should think more as GMs about the whole thing where, like, not everything needs to be symmetrical. And of course, people that like playing rules as written and that are like trying to do like a tactical thing, yeah, they will get like frustrated if you change the way that their game functions in the middle of the game. That's something that took me a while to figure out with like Pathfinder players that are like, when I was starting out, we really wanted to do everything by the book, and I've developed this crazy idea that I can homebrew everything on the fly, constantly think of new rules, and now we're coming back to that mode of, hey, we want to play Pathfinder 2, rules as written until we, you know, get used to the rules and before we start homebrewing. So, yeah, but still, like, thinking about symmetry and the cutscene as a thing. I think cutscenes are a wider topic. Like, we can talk about cutscenes in, like, more than one context. Like, for example, what Matt Colville mentioned, like, don't be afraid to throw a cutscene after the session of like what your villain was doing. Pretty interesting. Like, it sets up all those mechanisms that you see in movies. Like, it sets up some expectations because your players are also the viewers, and yes, that can impact their decisions, but we as the GMs want to impact their decisions in a way. So it's interesting to think of cutscenes, and I think this idea with like archers firing their arrows instead of just going through initiative order is still a cutscene. Like you're stopping the action, you're describing this whole thing. Maybe they all have a way to light up their arrows. Like you can go crazy, just describe the moment, like the time stopped and something is happening. Give them to roll that reflex save instead of rolling for AC for each of the shooters, and I think it can be pretty fun. And yeah, I would say that's it. I'm a bit scatterbrained because like my throat is starting to hurt again, and I've been talking for a while now, and my water is filled with Mod Podge that I said is edible, but I'm not doing that. Well, my computer is now at 15%, and I think for it's getting empty faster and faster. I'm really satisfied with how this went today. Could be more done on paper. I really wanted to even like finish all of it and color it, but yeah, it's still better than like having a ton of technical issues. So thank you very much for all that joined us and were hanging out with me. Really appreciate it, and I really want to do more of these. Currently the situation is like I'm trying to get any job in IT. That is coming. That just it's not happening. Like the bubble of IT supremacy has burst, and even with like 10 years of experience doing a bunch of different things, mostly C++, I cannot find a proper job in Serbia. Even like freelancing stuff, I tried a bunch of things, it's just not working. Probably just takes time because there is a lot of layoffs. The market is saturated with a lot of people, and it takes time. So yes, I am focused on that. I do all the stupid exercises on different platforms that I know they have some use, but I really hate doing them. And yeah, I'm mostly focusing on that, helping my wife with her work and life balance, and there is no space for, filming one day, editing another day. Usually that filming day is like reconstructing everything in this apartment to, film. Then I edit for at least a day, and writing a script and a thumbnail, half a day. I know in time that can be reduced, but my videos, they tend to go over 20 minutes. I'm a rambly guy, what can I do? So editing that and doing that to an extent that I feel like satisfied with, not possible while working on Redmark as a game and running weekly games. So I sat down and my priorities were what inspired me the most, my games. We're continuing with that. Now, if I can somehow do YouTube while working on our weekly games, that would be a win-win situation. And I saw there's oh my god, I can't believe I'm watching this guy for a long time, but I can't remember what his channel name is. The first guy that started doing stuff like this, prepping on camera, doing like encounters and everything. Let me see. Like a lot of his videos jump up at me all the time. How can I not find him right now? He deserves a shout out. Like, I usually play him in the background while I prep. Such cool stuff. No, I have him in the watch later. Ryan... How do you pronounce this? Ryan L. Mel DM. This guy. Don't know if you can see it. And it's mirrored, fantastic. Tell you. Top-notch content here on Barlow Cave. So yeah, this guy, amazing for prep. Now Elder Goblin Games started doing the same thing, and it's also so good. And I think like everyone does it differently, and isn't it really fun? to do it like together. I promise I will be rambling less next time, working more, more worky, less talky, as uh, Randy from Australia, the game developer, says. So yeah, this is what I want to be doing now, and in time, hopefully, I get a job, we go back on track with Redmark and with everything else, and then I can finally sponsor the events I wanted and all the crazy things I promised on Discord. Stuff will happen. Currently, I am living like a dog. A possum life. So, as soon as that is fixed, we're coming back to the normal schedule. Till then, we draw things on paper. So yeah, that would be all from me. And I do not have a proper outro. I did have... I had transitions. Yeah, I had transitions for each of these, I just forgot to use them. Anyways, thank you for joining me. I will go now to eat something and all that, so... There's the end button. Bye!